Well, the trial is exactly a month from today, and um, these are the two camps that you might find yourself in. This side is you've got Carroll County and ISP, and they've accused Richard Allen of doing this crime. And this side you have the FBI, and they've accused Ronald Logan of committing this crime. And they were at odds the entire time that they were together. And finally, this side kicked this side out. And the FBI never changed their mind on who it was. They've always said it was Ronald Logan. They said, based on the aforementioned facts, I believe there's probable cause to believe that Ronald Logan has committed the crime of murder, and evidence of that could be found on Ronald Logan's property. This is Nicole Robertson that wrote this of the FBI. And so they have not changed their mind since. They never retracted that. They haven't pointed to anyone else. And so these are the two camps that are left. And if you want to put yourself in this camp, there's room. See this little space right here? You can put your photo down there. If you're a dumbass, then you can put your photo on that side. But my photo's not going on that side. My photo's going on this side. I stand with the FBI. And they gave their reasons why they knew it was Ron Logan, and I've only added to them. I've added that the bridge guy was left-handed, and I've showed the reasons why. I've proven that the bridge guy was wearing Ron Logan's hat. I've proven that he had a flip phone on him, the same exact dimensions as Ron Logan's flip phone. He had a water bottle that proved he was about 6'1". So I've only added to what the FBI has already stated, the reasons why it was him. But I'm not putting my picture over here with these guys. These guys tried to force it to be Rick Allen instead of letting the evidence decide what it was. Now, I've entitled this, "The ISP Ballistics Expert Was Pressured." And I know she was. And we're going to find out at trial that she was. This is the man behind the curtain. And he sent his bulldog, certainly to question Rick Allen, but also I believe he would have sent his bulldog to go pressure the ballistics expert into saying that that cartridge came out of Rick Allen's gun, when I know it didn't. And so the only way she would have even suggested that it did is if she was pressured. Now, Melissa was a late 30s woman, easily pressured by these people in power. Now, luckily, she doesn't work for them anymore. And so she can testify that, she was pressured without fear of repercussions. And you'll see that, in fact, in one way, shape, or form, she was pressured into saying that cartridge came out of Rick's firearm. Now, she was wise enough to put that it's subjective. And so, Subjective means one person could say it came out of his firearm, the next person would say it didn't. That's what subjective means. Is that it's not provable. It's not. It's just one person's opinion. And and so Diener, who definitely belongs over here, Judge Diener should have read that it was subjective and given it no weight in coming to his conclusion because you know there is no weight to subjectivity. So so this will be interesting at trial to see exactly how she was pressured. Now it might have been just that we really could use this this information and we really need you to do this quickly and we have to have this information, and we know this is the guy, so that's probably the amount of pressure that she received. But regardless, it's not like they did a proper line, like a photo lineup. You get 5 or 6 guys that all look the same, and you line them up and you pick out the guy. Well, they could have at least done the same with firearms. Hand her 5 or 6 guns that are similar, and have her fire them, and then pick out the round that matches closest to the one at the crime scene. That would have been a proper way to to determine whether, with some reliability, that cartridge came out of that gun. But I guarantee you they didn't do that. They just handed her Rick's gun and said, we need you to say that came out of that firearm. And so if you were to know that she was pressured, which I know she was, but if you were to realize that, would that change your opinion of this whole case? If you realized that there was never any firearm evidence against Rick Allen, then you only have his psychotic confessions. And I think people's opinion will change significantly when they find that out, that she was pressured. Because now we're down to, psychotic confessions that should have never been included in the trial. All right. Next topic. So another influencer put this list out, and I don't believe in criticizing individuals. I think their thoughts and their information is up for discussion and dispute, and likewise, anything I put out is up for critique, right? By all means, please critique anything I say, and if I get a fact wrong, please tell me, where I went wrong. And so this influencer said, here's the odds of winning Powerball, and then what are the odds of? So these are, all the things that he's listing, that all these are the same person. What are the odds that they be this guy? So he starts off saying, what are the odds of owning a 6-hour 40 caliber? Well, starting off with, we don't know that 40 caliber cartridge came out of a SIG. There's a lot of guns that take a 40 caliber. It's never been specified that it came out of a SIG. And so this is intellectual dishonesty or laziness or both. He should have known that this that it's not necessarily out of a SIG. It's just a 40 caliber cartridge, and we don't know what gun it was cycled through. So, what are the odds of someone owning a 40 caliber handgun in the state of Indiana? My in-laws are from Indiana. The odds are nearly 100% of a man owning a 40 caliber handgun in Indiana. I mean, Ron Logan owned a bunch of handguns and firearms. In fact, over 100. And being the criminal that he wasn't even allowed to own all these handguns. And yet, that's how he made money on the side, by selling guns. And it turned out Ron Logan was missing a 40 caliber handgun. Unlike Rick, who held on to his. And so, what are the odds of owning a 40 caliber handgun? Pretty high. And both Ron Logan and Richard Allen owned one. So number 2, owning clothing similar to the bridge guy. I like how he put similar. If he's so convinced that it's the same, he should have put owning clothing identical to the bridge guy. But he put similar. Well, here's the bridge guy. And yeah, the bridge guy is wearing a nylon windbreaker. You can even see it's got a snap right here. It's not a zipper, but it's got a snap. You can see it doesn't have a hoodie. It's got a the jacket has a collar, and it's like it flaps around in the wind. You can see it on the video. Clearly has a collared jacket, just like this windbreaker. Well, this is Rick Allen's coat. Rick Allen had a Carhartt jacket, and this Carhartt label would have stood out like a sore thumb. I mean, this is what you buy when you buy Carhartt. You're buying this logo. That's what you pay money for, and that logo's not anywhere on here. It would have stood out. And Rick said his Carhartt has a hood on it. This one doesn't have a hood. This is clearly has a collar. And this is a thick jacket. A duck canvas jacket, like the girls described. This is not a duck canvas jacket. You can see right through this nylon. You can see his water ball right through this nylon jacket. And you know, anyone with any intelligence at all would have spent a minute and compared these jackets. They look nothing alike. So that's number 2 is owning clothing similar to the bridge guy. Okay, yeah, Rick owned a blue jacket and jeans. Other than that, it's not similar at all. I'm sorry, that's silly. Number 3, similar build and race to the bridge guy. Now, yeah, same race, but similar build. There is a body dimension analysis. There was a woman that did an analysis. That's her expertise, is doing these. And she said it couldn't be Rick Allen, because she measures bones from feet to knees, knees to hips, and so forth. And so no, it's not a similar build. The FBI said Ron Logan had a similar build, but everyone has proven that Rick Allen uh, does not have a similar build, including me with the water bottle. There's no way the bridge guy can be 5'4". The water bottle proves that he's around 6'1". So false. Um, but Ron Logan fits here. Parking vehicle at the CPS building. That has nothing to do with anything. In no way do we know that the killer parked a car anywhere. It turns out Ron Logan came from his house. He didn't park his vehicle over the CPS building. And now, where this comes from is Sarah Carball saying that a guy with a tan jacket was walking down the road. And so, assuming that this person was going to his car. Well, that tan jacket turned into a blue jacket because Liggett's a liar and wanted it to be a blue jacket. So you have one lie, and this is a second lie built upon the first lie, that the vehicle was parked at the CPS building. So you've got lies built upon other lies. This has nothing to do with anything. Placing oneself near the crime scene at a critical time. So Richard Allen left the bridge at about 2 o'clock. And we know that because the girls, when they arrived, they took pictures pointing both ways, 205 and 207, showing that no one was at the bridge at that time. And so Richard Allen was already gone. He was sitting on a park bench. But we know that Ron Logan arrived at the bridge at 2:09 because he made a phone call there. And so who places themselves at the crime scene at a more critical time? At the critical time, 2:09? Ron Logan did. And so once again, Ron Logan fits here way better than Richard Allen does. And confessing to the crime. Who was it that confessed first to the crime? Well, that was Ron Logan. Ron Logan confessed to a cellmate and told details that only the killer would know. And my last video talks about that. Ron Logan confessed without being psychotic, without being tortured. He would just happen to be caught by his cellmate and finally confessed to his cellmate. And absolutely knew details of the crime. Whereas Richard Allen was psychotic when he confessed to shooting the girls, or confessed to stabbing them with the box cutter, confessed to things that didn't happen. And so they don't have any weight. Now, if he did know anything about the crime, it was after he'd been given information about the crime. But so if you add all these up, what are the odds of it being Ron Logan? A lot more than the odds of being Richard Allen. And so this is kind of the intellectual dishonesty and laziness that goes on in this case, because people are trying to fit it to be Richard Allen. They're trying to force it to be Richard Allen when it's not. All right. Um, the final topic has to do with laziness. Um, I'm sorry. Has to do with, um, well, the ignorance, laziness, and railroading of Richard Allen. Um, why is it that Judge Gold is not allowing cameras in the courtroom? They're allowed. She could if she wanted to. But she's trying to keep everything as hidden as possible. Um, why is it we're not allowing geofence data in? We we use this constantly in other cases. We know it's reliable. We know it's accurate. The reason they're not is because um, it can be proven that Richard Allen was not at the crime scene. We know he walked back to a park bench and sat down on the park bench, and he would have looked at his phone while he was sitting on the park bench, possibly even um, looked up something, and so they would know exactly what park bench he was sitting on. Um, that's why the geofence data is not allowed at trial. It's because it proves his innocence, and that's just out and out railroading when you know someone's innocent and you're being pressured by the man behind the curtain who needs this, who needs it solved, the case solved, who doesn't care who gets convicted, just needs a conviction, and then he can retire and go off to live in Oz. Why is it that we're not allowing a third-party defense? Ron Logan, um, the bodies were found on his property. He was received a couple texts while he was standing next to the bodies that night. He made that phone call at the bridge at 2:09. There's a clear nexus between, not to mention all the stuff that the FBI mentioned. Clear nexus between Ron Logan. Ron Logan was eliminated. Judge Gold, along with the other names, didn't allow Ron Logan. There's no rationale behind that. Why is no cult type behavior being allowed? Now, I know it was Ron Logan that was the killer, and he's not involved in a cult. But what he did to deflect away from himself was he put sticks to make it look like it was cult behavior. But why can't we talk about that? Why can't we say that, look, yeah, these sticks were made to look, at least look like it was some kind of cult. And you've got an expert that testified that that's absolutely cult-like behavior. You know, why can't we even mention the word cult? It makes no sense. Why do we have to include Richard Allen's psychotic confessions? This wouldn't happen in any other trial. The man was clearly psychotic when he confessed to shooting the girls and all the other false confessions that he made. This is this is a clear sign of railroading, and if people can't see that this is complete railroading by now, just put your picture down here. And I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry for you that this is your group. It's not my group. I'm clearly on this side. Why did Rick have to go to prison? Why did they have to put him in solitary confinement and not let him go to a hospital even when his psychologist said he needed to be in a hospital. Um, that's part of the railroading. Now, um, a lot of people say, well, this is just going to be a practice trial. You know, we'll just wait for the real trial to happen. But I, I'm not so sure. The same powers, the same corrupt Supreme Court, the same corrupt Indiana State Police head, the same corrupt judge are all going to push to make sure that he doesn't get another trial. And so if if it was true that if I thought he could get another trial, I'd be all for this. Just get this over with, get rid of Goal, and let's have a real trial coming up. But I'm not as optimistic. Um, I think these same people um, that railroaded him to begin with would just continue the railroading, and and uh, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. So um, this is this is going to go down as a very unique um, time and a very openly corrupt system where they're doing it right in front of our faces, and they don't care. Um, all right. Um, well, it starts in a month, and I'm praying for Richard Allen. I know he's innocent. I know he committed this crime. I know it was Ron Logan, and and so pray for Rick.